Wow, Jake, what incredible takes.
I mean, those guys, they're just the best.
I think so. And if you think so, again, hit the like button, subscribe, ring the bell so you get notifications when we post every single day here on OTB LSU. Time to sully ourselves with some elephant excrement as we head over to T-Town to talk to my guy, Ryan Fowler, at Ryan C. Fowler on Twitter, host of The Game with Ryan Fowler on 100.9 in Tuscaloosa. Also, the man who proudly claims the most masturbatory segment in all of radio, where at 5 p.m. every single day he lists off all the Alabama All-Americans, the SEC championships, the national championships.
Claimed or earned?
You never know with these guys.
Yeah,
I don't know. I personally don't count any natties pre-integration, but these Alabama people are pretty dumb, so they tend to act however they act. But he is actually an Alabama alum, which is not necessarily par for the course for the Tide fans. Ryan, what's up, man? What's going on?
Man, you guys have disrespected me like in the first 2 minutes here.
Yeah.
I mean, your producer calls me and he wants to smack talk me, man. I mean, he disrespected. He's like, tiger bait.
Yeah.
Tiger bait.
Good. I'm glad. Because that's what it is. Look, we're feeling violent this morning, right? And you know why? Because like I said, you list off all the championships and everything every single day, right?
You want me to do it now?
No, I do not. No, I do not. No.
Okay.
Though, again, enjoy it because you're going to be stuck on a lot of those numbers for probably the rest of your life pretty soon here.
We have been for a couple of years, which is kind of odd. Right?
Which is odd. And so now we arrive at my point, Ryan. Earlier I said that if you're an LSU fan, you've been given a bit of a gift. You've been given a point of leverage, a crowbar to wrench open the ribs of your enemies and ruin their time and drink their blood. And when you think about it, what is this game if not just that? Because right now, Alabama sits on a precipice, right? They've never gone 3 years under Nick Saban without winning a national championship. They haven't gone 2 years without winning the SEC West since, 2010 and 11? So over a decade now? I don't know when the last time y'all would have lost 2 games in Tuscaloosa was. So there's all these signs, right? All these points, these data points that hinge on Saturday. And if LSU wins, then it will be painfully clear, Ryan, that your time is at an end.
Well, let me say this. This is one of Nick Saban's weaker teams as a whole. This is probably one of his weakest coaching staffs as a whole, top to bottom. There is some signs that there's some cracks in the foundation, but to be fair, and I know you and I talked about this yesterday, the way that Saban has been able to navigate this, if he can coach this team to 7-1, if he can beat LSU Saturday evening in Bryant City Stadium, beat Kentucky, beat Auburn on the road, make it to Atlanta, in my opinion, this may be his best coaching job. So don't give up on old Saban yet. Hold on just a little bit longer.
Hey, Ryan, I want to ask you kind of the fan base pulse, though, because I do agree with what you said. I mean, if Coach Saban gets this done, I mean, it is his best coaching job, and this team was left for dead after they lost to Texas. But what's the fan base reaction to this Alabama team? Like on your show, like is there still belief that they can go out there and do all the things that Bama's done over the last decade plus, or do they think that at some point this season it will come to an end?
This has been like a roller coaster. Have you guys ever been to Six Flags, the Great American Scream Machine? Up and down,
hell yeah,
up and down.
Machine.
I mean,
So
yeah.
that's where Alabama fans' confidence has been. It's been high moments where, listen, they're going to stop everybody. They're going to kick everybody in the teeth. There's nobody got a chance. And then there's been other chances like, are they going to lose to Arkansas? Are they going to lose to Tennessee? I mean, go back to the first half against Tennessee. This is just the previous game before the bye week.
Yeah.
That first half, I mean, if you surveyed fans during that first half, I bet you 80-90% thought they were going to get beat by Tennessee. Now, they'll tell you that they believe that the second half was coming, but there was no sign of the second half. This team has been sloppier than any Nick Saban team I've covered. Many times they don't even say the things that a Nick Saban team tells you. I mean, I remember talking to Jacob at SEC Media Days, talking about how murder joyless murder ball, which is just running the football and, for their standpoint. I remember asking about physicality. They've been none of that. They thought they were going to have this big dominant offensive line. They've done none of that.
Yeah.
They thought they were going to use the tight end. They've done very little of that. This team has not been what we expected, and what was a strength going into the season has become a weakness.
Well, but let's talk about the second half, because it's now 3 games in a row in which Alabama has gotten down by not 3 in a row, because I think the Arkansas one's actually mixed in there as well. But 3 games this year in which Alabama's gotten down by increasingly large deficits at half, only to take over for the final 30 minutes. And what in your review, your estimation, what has been the biggest difference in those games between first half and second half Alabama?
Well, they make great halftime adjustments, but in the first quarter, normally they win the toss and defer to the second half, which most teams do, and they get off to this sluggish start. They normally watch them win the toss as they defer. I would almost prefer to go, hey, let's go offense. Let's try to find some way, to strengthen that. I know what they're trying to do, but that third quarter has been their most productive quarter on both offense and defense. Go back to Texas. The third quarter was their best quarter. But that first quarter, the second quarter, they almost kind of start to turn it around a little bit. But that first quarter has been just sluggish. It has been where you're looking like, guys, did they get the memo that they were starting at 2:30? Did they thought it was good? I mean, it's that type of performance. And I don't know if that's just nervous anxiety. I don't know if it's, because that was the theme word last year, right? Everybody had anxiety.
Yeah.
That came straight from Will Anderson. So I don't know if that's carried over. That first quarter has become the anxiety quarter, but they've been very slow at starting this year. So
did they actually come back to take the lead in that third quarter against Texas? I'm trying to remember.
I think they did in the Texas, or it was close. Maybe they tied it up, but then Texas stretched out in the fourth quarter, and it was over. At that point. So it was.
Ron, let me ask you this: outside of Jalen Milroe, because obviously the quarterback position, who do you have as the player for Alabama that has to have the best game?
It's got to be Jermaine Burton.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, and he's a talker. He likes to chatter, so you never know when the personal foul is going to get called. But you almost have to take that risk because he's that dominant, of a player. He's starting to be that leader in that wide receiver room. At the early part of the season, I didn't think they had one in that room. I just thought it was just sporadic. But see, that's another part of the thing. When you look at Alabama, if you're I was going to say LSU's defense, but I'm not really sure they have one. But if you're the defensive coordinator, who do you circle on Alabama? Who do you say, I've got to cover this guy? I got to know where this guy's on the field. Well, I don't know if Alabama has one on the offensive side of the football, at least so far, 8 games in. That they've just been kind of by committee. Somebody takes over and, does some special things.
What about the offensive line? That's maybe, like you said, I think entering this season, that was supposed to be the strength of this team, and it's been a bit disastrous thus far. Now, again, I actually think this is actually a kind of good matchup for this Alabama offensive line, and that LSU's defensive front has been nothing to write home about. They don't especially get after the quarterback or cause a bunch of havoc like Alabama's been wanting to give up this year. Like, that's where they really seem to struggle against Texas and others, and even Tennessee in that first half. What's the current view on this offensive line as it matches up against LSU?
It's a weakness. Now, we've kind of used this as a launching pad. Maybe this team found confidence against Tennessee in that second half because they started to kind of call plays. Because I do think this offensive line could be productive if they'll lean on these guys. They're kind of road graders. But really, you've not seen Tommy Rees rely on that. I mean, he's been very generic with his play calling. It's really been strange. I mean, I guess that's where you want to start is, Tommy Rees was not Nick Saban's first choice. He was on down the list. And so you don't really have this immediate acceptance. And now, 8 games in, if I ask the approval rating of Tommy Rees, it's probably a B-, C+, maybe even lower. So when you look at this offensive line, if they'll lean on these guys, I think there's an advantage there. But listen, they've not been able to show that they can pass protection, against teams like South Florida. I mean, they've been very sloppy. Now, Roberts at right guard has been a nice transition. Darian Dalford went down with an injury. He stepped up, and he's really been kind of a pretty solid guard. Caden Proctor, I've kind of in my mind just said they're not going to get him any help as a true freshman left tackle. They're not going to try to just slide anything. They're not going to try to over pressure or allow somebody to over rush. They're not going to get him any help. And he's a Jenny Craig Weight Watchers NIL program.
He's a big boy.
Lose some pounds. He is a big boy. Well,
6'7", 360 according to the Alabama bio.
Yeah, and I don't know if he's 360. I mean he looks massive, and I'm not sure they shouldn't have played him inside for the first year, and then try to find his weight, get him into control, and find a way. But they didn't have any other options at left tackle. I mean, they were pretty thin at that left tackle spot, so they have tried a couple different combinations. But this offensive line, I mean, I'm trying to think if there's been a game where they played all five of the same offensive line. It may have been one or two games in a row, but they've been very inconsistent there. So you say 8 games in, they're trying to still find their 5 best. But they seem to have settled on those guys in the last couple of games. So Roberts has really solidified that right guard spot.
Yeah, I mean, again, in that second half against Tennessee, they throw it 7 times. So the offensive line seemed to get it going that day. Ryan, what happens tomorrow? Give us your awful, inbred, ignorant, gumpy take. What happens tomorrow?
You forgot championship.
Okay, relax.
Yeah, okay. But because we do. I mean, we have 18.
No.
29 SEC championships. We have 145 first-year Alabama. Hey, and somebody brought a stat up to me, and I want to make sure that you guys are taking care of Bryant-Denny West out there, okay?
Oh, my God.
I didn't realize that Alabama had not lost in Bryant-Denny from 1969 to 2000. Is that a true stat?
Are you talking about in Death Valley?
Yes.
As I understand,
I know 2 years they lost.
Yeah.
04 for sure. 06 for sure.
2010 for sure.
Well, no.
Last year for sure.
69 to 2000.
Look, I don't know.
Oh, look, what do you know? An Alabama fan living in the past.
Yeah.
Who could have seen it? Who could have seen it?
But hey, it's going to be a really good game. I think it'll be a fourth quarter game. I think Vegas is always spot on for a reason. I had it 34-30. I think if Alabama's going to win this game, and I know T-Bob and I talked about it yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't think this can be a shootout. If it's shootout, it favors LSU because it tells me that defense of Alabama could not win because that's the advantage. Alabama has got to win that battle from defense to the best offense of the country. If they don't, then they probably don't have a chance. And if this thing gets in the 40s, it tells me that defense did not come to play and did not slow down Jaden Daniels. They allowed him to run all over him last year. Then LSU probably favors them. If it's in the 20s, it really favors Alabama because they really, made LSU play sloppy. And I've been trying to correct Alabama fans. When they call in and they give me 17 points for LSU when they prediction, I'm like, guys, come on. I mean, I know we've got those crimson thick colored glasses, but you're not slowing down that offense. I mean, they're going to come here with a lot of confidence, as they should. 34-30. I like Alabama 34-30. But I wouldn't run to the bank to grab some money to go to Philadelphia, Mississippi, and drop some coin. I would just I'd sit back and enjoy it. And that's why we love college football.
We can gamble here in Louisiana.
Yeah,
you ain't even got to go to Mississippi.
We don't even have lottery here, man. We don't even have lottery. So
what?
I always thought it was weird that you had to be 19 to get tobacco products in Alabama.
Did you?
Odd. Yeah.
1 year older?
Yeah, I think you still do. And to watch porn or something, maybe. I
don't know. But only 15 to marry your cousin, though, right?
Yeah.
Right, T-Bob?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, there you go. Now we're getting the jokes.
Oh, they raised
right.
that age? At that age, I thought it was 13.
It could be. I'll double check. Yeah. I'll have an answer for you next time I'm on.
All right, appreciate it, Ryan.
Ryan Fowler.
I'm that type of guy. And hey, Jacob, thanks for responding to my text.
There it is.
Hey,
it's a busy one.
Hey, also though, I did tell T-Bob. I forgot as soon as he said you were coming on today. I was like, I forgot to hit my guy back. But also, I'm on off campus every day, so know your friends. Yeah. Know what they do for a living.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't agree with that.
I know.
No.
Yeah.
That's why we recorded SEC Media Day.
But I wanted to apologize to you because I missed this team so much. Like, I thought this team was going to be physical. I thought they were going to run the football. I remember asking you about, can you still do it? I mean, how about my boy Cole Kubelik up in Birmingham? He changed his prediction from LSU to Alabama because he thought this offensive line was going to be dominant. I mean, a lot of us missed it. We missed it.
Well, I actually like you, so I won't miss you Saturday, but, I hope all is well. Okay. Ryan C. Fowler, host of the game, 100.9, Tiger Bait, Suck on D's,
Love
Ryan. Hey, what's going on, y'all? T-Bob here.
And Jake as well.
And you're about to watch a little OTB LSU.
We're going to give you all the latest, greatest between LSU football, baseball, women's basketball, softball, and everything in between.
Bottom line, if you want to talk Tigers, keep it locked, subscribe, like it, and we hope you enjoy